Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. JACALYN. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. JACALYN at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Hopefully it's welcome back to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, and our show today is the Corner Bookstore. Our guest is unable to join us as of this moment, but we hope that her Wi-Fi will return. So let me welcome the star of our show, Diann Floyd Boehm, who has written so many incredible books. She's won all kinds of awards. She's lived all over the world, and she is always ready to help someone. And she has helped me quite a lot, and I thank her for that. Let's welcome her.
I always have to chuckle thinking, who is she talking about? You're always so kind. I'm blushing. Thank you.
Well, it's true, Diann. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. So
as
anyway,
you know,
yes.
Our guest is not here today. So I have a book that I want to talk about, and I want to talk about your books as well. So for people who are just joining us for the first time, I'd love to have you share a little bit about your background and why it is that you're so passionate about writing for children and young adults.
Sure, I'll be happy to. Thank you, Dr. JACALYN. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our show, both viewers and listeners. So I'm Diann Floyd Boehm, and I'm a children's author, and I have out my first young adult historical fiction book. And I am passionate about writing books for children and young adults, as Dr. JACALYN just stated. Anyway, why? Because I have always been a storyteller. I love imagination, and I want children to feel the power of imagination. And when parents read to their kiddos, I want the parents to feel like a child again and go into a new world and just set everything aside that had been on their mind and worrying them throughout the day. My books are about love, friendship, being kind to each other, loving yourself, peace and harmony, and going after your dreams. So that's what I'm all about, Dr. JACALYN, and I hope you like that. There we go.
Yes, absolutely, Diann. Thank you. Very
You're
exciting.
welcome.
All right, I'm going to talk a little bit about this book, and it's really left an impression on me because, as you know, we interview a lot of authors, and I love supporting authors' work. And when I see something that I feel is quite extraordinary, I feel like we need to take a look at it, because I think we can all learn from not only the contents of this book, but the whole way the presentation of the book. So I'll just start off by letting you know that I am talking about a book. I'm not going to show it yet. The book is called A Heart of Gold, The Greatest Gift. And it's been written by Sharon, Lynn Brown, and Heather Carlson Johnson. And it's illustrated by Lucas Nickerson. Now, I ordered the book right after I interviewed them. The book arrived in this gold, you can see it, this gold packaging. Mm-hmm. And this is what I saw when I took out the book. So I'm just going to spotlight myself for a moment so we can see this.
I actually watched that interview. They're amazing. That is a gorgeous book.
It's a gorgeous book. Now, because the book cover is green and I'm in front of a green screen, we can't see it as well as I would like us to be able to see it. So the book also has this card, and they wrote, "JACALYN, thank you so much for believing in us. You're such a blessing. We're so glad we met." So nice. A personal thank you. And in addition to that, I'm going to walk us through the book, but Diann, just anything you want to interject as I go through this, because you know about the quality of books, and I wish we could see. This is actually gilded gold on here.
I
Okay,
was going to ask. I thought maybe the whole book was gold, but it's a
it's
gorgeous
amazing.
book.
It's
I'm going to
really
have to get
amazing.
it.
So when you open the book, you see pages with, I'm tempted to take down my green screen, my background, so you can see it better. Let me see if I can do that. Diann, cover for me while I do this.
Sure, I'll be happy to. I did watch that interview with Dr. JACALYN and the authors, and I was so touched because they had really shared everything that I believe in about loving yourself. And I'm so excited that Dr. JACALYN will be sharing this book with you. So make sure you write down the names, because we're going to be sharing with you some fun books for you to have. And, you know, also books, the covers, the artwork's incredible. And so, for instance, in our adult bookcase library, I just love being able to see all the different backings of the book covers, because of it makes beautiful art, just like what we have in our green screen right behind us. So I'm excited for you to share. There's our Dr. JACALYN, and I'll let her take over.
Thank you, Diann. So I took down my virtual background so we can really see this book, because I want to give it the justice that it's due. So I'm going to spotlight again. Okay, so do you see how beautiful this is, how attractive this is? And when we think about this book being for children, it's also for adults. It's a piece of art. And you see, this is an autographed copy, which I think is really nice too. So we open it up, and then inside we see the interior is these gifts, pictures of gifts. And as we go further, we actually have the signatures of the authors, which is really a nice touch. And this book, I want to talk about what's inside the book, but I also just want to make you aware, if you want to stand out as an author, these are some ideas for you to, if you're able to buy copies and then send them out, or have someone send them on your behalf, as opposed to going through Amazon, for example. But you can get the book on Amazon as well. So before I go on, Diann, any comments you have before I talk about the contents of the book?
Thank you for sharing how you can have a personally signed book. Authors that are listening, and I'm working on this myself, eventually I'll have my sales tax, so people will be able to order books online, and that's what you can do with them. And to have a signed copy, Dr. JACALYN, that's incredible. And also, when you are able, for instance, Dr. JACALYN, when we can order from you, to have these personal notes and things coming up. I know that Texas Sisters Press, with their books that are ordered through them, they have all these extra little tidbits. And when I read it, I'm so touched by these authors taking the extra step or the extra mile to really thank you for purchasing the book. So thanks for sharing those ideas.
Thank you, Diann. And would you like to share with everyone, when you mentioned about selling the books online and sales tax, what other steps do people need to take?
Well, that's something that I'm in the learning process of. But yes, you do have to have your sales tax, so that when people purchase online in your own private store, and if you use the little square, so if you don't know what that is, you can order square.com, and it comes free, and it attaches to your phone, so that when you're out and about and you're selling your books in different venues, you can just swipe the card, and it immediately takes every type of card, and your sales tax is on there. Everything's done for you, and that's quite nice as well.
Thank you for sharing that pro tip, Diann. That's fantastic.
You're welcome. I don't know. Right. I have so much to learn, Dr. JACALYN.
Listen, every day, Diann, there's more things for us to learn, but that's what makes it exciting and interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it does. Absolutely. And this is as you might be discovering, maybe you already know, because you're you're such an incredible role model in so many ways. But going from the teacher world to training educators around the world, speaking in public, etc., becoming an author is just a whole new world in itself, and it's exciting. But you really not only have to know your craft, but you also have to know how to market, and that's a beast. Don't you think, Dr. JACALYN? I'm surprised what a beast it is.
It's daunting in some ways. And of course, one of the main ways that we can market that's free is social media. And social media in and of itself is a whole other world. Excuse me. I spend hours each week on social media.
Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right. And to find that tribe and grow your tribe. But I want our listeners to know that when I love these authors that you're going to speak about again with that book, but also know when you're speaking with authors or any of our authors that we've actually interviewed, that they just love you. And we're so grateful for you purchasing our books and believing in us. And so we just really want to say thank you and keep coming back, because we're always writing.
Thank you, Diann. I appreciate that. Okay, let's go back to this book. Again, the book we're talking about is A Heart of Gold, The Greatest Gift by Sharon, Lynn Brown, and Heather Carlson Johnson, illustrated by Lucas Nickerson. And as you know, if you were watching, I did take my background down so we could fully see the book. Okay, inside the book, I think this is so important. Who is your audience? Now, Diann, as you know, with all the books that you've published, the audience, we think it's just for children, but that's not the case, is it, Diann?
No, not at all.
Tell us more.
Not at all. Sorry, I still have a morning frog. To me, and I have met many authors who disagree with us, Dr. JACALYN, that children's books are only for children's books. But so many fabulous authors are writing books where children are learning things, exciting things, but also I like to think of the books that they're multi-layered. So how one child might feel about what's going on, another parent is interpreting it at a higher level because, of course, they've lived and they have a little bit more wisdom about them. And so I think it's really important for parents, single people, everyone, to just embrace imagination and sometimes get over there to that children's section and find a book, because there's one waiting for you. And Dr. JACALYN, I can't wait till we talk about the book you're about to release, and because that's for adults, absolutely for adults too.
Thank you, Diann. Yes, we definitely will have a chat about that. Before we do, I want to just highlight a couple things in this book when we talk about audience. So I'm going to spotlight myself again. Okay, so if you look here at the illustrations, how beautiful they are, and we see the word unconditional love, right? We see those words. There are lessons in here that are applicable to each and every person. And I suggested to the authors that this book should be given out with the human resource manual. When you start a new job and they go, oh, here's the human read about this, read about that, read this. Read children's books. I think that is key, because we get so engrossed in what we see on television and taking sides and this and that. Let's go back to some basic human qualities of treating people with respect. So I highly recommend that you get this book, and you can get it on Amazon, and I'll put the authors' names in the comment section so that you can actually reach out to them if you would like to contact them as well. All right. Thank you, great. Diann. I want to talk about your latest works. Tell us.
Sure. So coming out, and we're having the cover reveal, which I hope everyone will come to. And if you go to my website or go to Facebook and Diann Floyd Boehm on Facebook, there'll be a lot of information there. But the cover reveal for my latest book, A Time to Fly, is coming out on July 26th. And the book launch, so everyone mark it, is August 2nd. And you can come to the book launch, and maybe you'll even win a free book. And we'll be talking more about that in July for sure. But I will say A Time to Fly is very exciting. The illustrations are over the top. Nancy the illustrator, is phenomenal, and she is a well-known artist in Austin, Texas. So I feel very lucky that she is the illustrator, and I'll be sharing more of that with you on another show, I hope, Dr. JACALYN. but that's the latest book, A Time to Fly, and it's all about this little blue bird that didn't want to leave the nest, and the mama helps the little bird believe that they'll be okay. He can join the others, and the mom lets him know how to believe in himself, and pretty soon the bird takes off and joins the rest of the family. And I think that again is like what you said, Dr. JACALYN. When parents read this story, they're going to see how it relates to every human having a moment like, can I do this? Can I do this? Even me, when I was, computers were brand new, and I was going to be the new computer director. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I've always been a classroom teacher. Can I do this? Because there was no such thing as a computer director. And several of us around the U.S., took on this new strange job and, laid the foundation for it. But you still had that moment of, oh my gosh, can I do it? And this book helps you believe that you can do anything if you really set your mind to it. So it's for adults as well, Dr. JACALYN.
Well done, Diann. I love that.
Thanks. I'm really excited. I'm very excited. I'll tell you more and what inspired me when we have a show about it.
Okay, fantastic. Well, I just watched your whole face light up, and I can see how excited you are about it. I think that's fantastic. Your books are beautiful as well. They're so well illustrated, and I think when we go to commercial, I'll go and grab them. Do you have them with you?
No, because I am in Arkansas. Yesterday, where was I? Oh yeah, Mississippi. So
how many hours drive is that?
That particular drive was about 8 hours, and now after the show, because we stayed, so I make sure I did the show with you today, and because I love doing it, FYI, and it's always so much fun. And then we're driving to Fort Worth, and it's just about 6 hours. It's no big deal. I like to drive.
Diann, I know you told me in Texas people are used to driving, and that's, to me, if it's over an hour, I'm kind of like, oh.
We wouldn't know what to do. I mean, an hour is nothing, right?
Right. I guess not.
I know this is a little bit off topic, but just to give a feel for it. So I live in Austin, and if there's really something fun going on in Houston, I'm like, what's a 4-hour drive? It's no big deal. So I do 4 hours, go to the show, go shopping, come back. And you can do it in 3 hours, by the way, but I just sort of drive the speed limit. And then I'll come back the very same day.
Oh, my word. In the same day. And I thought driving from New Jersey to Florida was a big deal. I was like, ugh, I kind of want to do this again.
And I'd be sitting there like singing the whole way.
Yeah,
Elvis
I
and
love
me.
this. Well,
Okay.
I want to run and get your books. So I'm going to play your sponsorship, and hopefully I can get back in time. If there's a black screen, then you'll know what happened.
Okay. You're so sweet. Thank you.
All right, let's take a look at one of Diann's clips, and we'll be right back. I've got 1:36. Okay, here we go.
Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to Story Garden. Your host, Diann Boehm. I'm so happy to have you here today.
Diann Floyd Boehm tells wonderful stories that warm the heart, spark the imagination, and unite people and families across generations. For children, Diann's Harry the Camel connects with all of us who've ever wondered how different our lives might have been if only we'd been born something better, like a wonderful horse instead of an ordinary camel. In the end, we all learn along with Harry that there's nothing better than just being yourself. Diann's Little Girl in the Moon looks down on earthbound children and wonders if they know she's just like them. A story of love, home, and the bond between mother and daughter, its powerful theme that we're each of us different yet all of us the same plants a seed in children that promises to blossom within a loving and trusting grown-up. Diann's new biography, Rise, recounts the experiences of her grandmother, Ruby, to reveal the hidden strength of the human spirit. Ruby's story inspires all of us to become the best versions of ourselves. You'll find all of Diann's delightful books and much more at DiannFloydBoehm.com. Visit DiannFloydBoehm.com. That's DiannFloydBoehm.com.
Kapayapaan, kapayapaan, kapayapaan.
Diann Floyd Boehm's A Song of Peace tells the story of a young lad named Tommy whose fervent wish for peace on earth touches the hearts of his friends and family, spreads to his community, and eventually unites the whole world around making his dream of peace a reality for everyone. Sit down with the children in your life and share Tommy's amazing story of love and hope. Sing your own song of peace and invite the children to join you. Tommy's tale is more than just a story. It's a movement, and everyone's warmly welcome to take part.
Kapayapaan, 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 kapayapaan.
You'll find A Song of Peace, along with many other wonderful learning and enriching opportunities for children of all ages, at DiannFloydBoehm.com.
Everyone, and welcome back to USA Global TV and Radio. Our show today is The Corner Bookstore, and our guest, Ann Charles, is not able to join us due to a technical issue, so we look forward to welcoming her back another time. Okay, let's return to the show and bring out our star, Diann Floyd Boehm. We're going to talk a little bit more about her books. Welcome, Diann.
Thanks, Dr. JACALYN.
I made it back, but of course, all the books fell. The books that were next, they all fell all over the floor. Okay, so I want to take a look. I have 3 of your books here. That's what I could get in the time. So we've got Harry the Camel, and I'm going to show the book. And why don't you talk us through it as I hold it up?
Sure, thank you. And thank you for having my books, Dr. JACALYN. That means a lot to me. So Harry the Camel was inspired from me living in Dubai, and Harry lives in Dubai, and he doesn't like being a camel. He wishes he was a horse, but something very special happens, and he discovers there's nothing better than being who you are. And that really is something for, I wanted my kiddos to, one of my kiddos that are reading the story, and their parents, when they're feeling down, it's like, oh, why can't I be like Susie? Why can't I be like Johnny? That this story will inspire them to know that they are perfect just the way they are. So that's what that book's all about.
How about these illustrations? Beautiful.
Thank you. It was co-illustrated with a good friend of mine from Sri Lanka, and she is an award-winning. This is her first book. She helped Belver illustrate, and she and I, we just had so much fun. Yoshita, but she's a famous artist and has an international artist. And she just won an award, actually, through Dubai for all her contributions that she's given to Dubai. So I feel very lucky
that she's fabulous.
Yes. She's pretty neat. And, it's really fun to know people around the world. And Sri Lanka is a gorgeous country, too. So, yeah.
I can't say I haven't been, Diann, but living through you, the way you describe everything with your master storytelling skills, I feel like I have been there.
Well, you'll love it.
So, Diann, a question I have for you before we move on to the other books, and I know I have the other ones here. Maybe I'll want to get them while you're talking. My question for you is, when you started out with your first book, were you going through Amazon or did you have a publisher at the time?
I did have a publisher and I did go through Amazon. That is absolutely correct. I am working on updating my website when I do get my sales tax, which we spoke about earlier. And then people will be able to purchase directly through me as well. And then there's also a bookstore before our store, and they really support authors, and my books are there. And what that means is that you get a bigger portion of your money coming back to you. So, and that's important. So
it is. And so Diann, for people out there who are thinking, you know, I want to order so many books and then I'll send them out myself. Is this something that a person can do, or is this so daunting? I mean, are people, what's your answer?
Yeah, it's daunting for me. So I'm very grateful for the small bookstores carrying my books, as well as Barnes & Noble and Amazon and Before Our Books, because especially when it's overseas, right? Amazon has, you know, the British, England, the UK, and then I'm in Amazon in the Middle East. And so I don't have to worry about international taken care of. And that would be horrible, horribly expensive to have to, you know, mail. But sometimes within the US, when I am looking forward to people ordering online from me, just because they do, they might have to pay a little bit more, but they'll get a signed copy and a bunch of other little freebies like you were mentioning earlier. So it's that personal touch that some people are looking for, especially around the holidays or a kid's birthday, etc. So, but it is, it's time consuming for the author, but at the same time, wow, someone's ordered your book. I mean, you just feel so good inside.
So exciting. I know, just talking about shipping, at one point I had 60 auctions a week I was running on eBay, and people were buying my used clothing, believe it or not. They were buying from all over the world, and I did everything myself, including the shipping, and that was very expensive. Plus you had to get the customs forms and everything else, and I was glad when I stopped doing it, because just those extra steps and going to the post office, even if they pick it up, I know you can do everything electronically, but it's a lot of work. So to get a signed copy of a book is a big deal.
It is a big deal. And it means a lot to the person you're giving it to.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's go on to the next one. Sure. Okay. Woo!
I love that story. You know, I feel so blessed when the angels, you know, give me ideas and I write the story. But the little girl in the moon, the big idea, that is such a beautiful story. And it has a story inside itself, because there's a poem in there that I hope to be a song one day. I think I'm going to get Madeline to do that. Yes. And so that story really deals with peace and harmony in the world. That particular picture that I drew, and I illustrated this whole book, and that one is where the wishes are that earthlings, which you and I are getting lost to the stars. And the little girl in the moon who lives on the moon, she's a moonling, is so worried about all these wishes she's getting lost. And so she goes to her mama and says, I don't know what to do. I'm so worried. And so that one I did too. That's where the wishes are really trying hard to get to find the light of the moon and get to the stars.
So beautiful, Diann. How did you illustrate these? Is this paint?
Yes, so I did that in silk painting. And actually Yoshida, that I mentioned earlier, was my teacher. She teaches silk painting and is phenomenal. That particular picture right there was when the little girl in the moon, the mother shares a secret. So she gets all her friends together and they start thinking of a song. That one is when, for a moment in time, there is peace and harmony in the world. And you see the earthling children, and the wishes have now made it to the stars. but only kind wishes make it to the stars.
Oh, so what we need today, Diann.
And that's the
Beautiful.
thing is that, thank you so much. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just get excited about my book, so I apologize, because as a good listener, you're supposed to be quiet.
Diann's one of our certified elevated listeners.
Which is such a phenomenal, I have to do a plug for you real quick. I can't help it. But, I did not expect to learn anything. And I learned so much. And just listening to your talking heads right before this show, I was like, God, I'm still learning. So it's just so phenomenal. And you do have to take a moment and be quiet to make sure you don't accidentally not let someone get the rest of their thoughts out. So anyway, yay for your shows. You're welcome.
You know what's interesting, as the founder of this platform, there are many times that someone is on, a guest is on, and I've instructed them. It's a TV show, right? It's not a monologue. When I spotlight you, say what you have to say, then I'm going to bring you back and let's go on to something else. And people just forget because they're so excited. Yeah. And I don't have any judgment. I just sit there and like I don't say anything. I just am totally present and listening, because as the listening mentor, that's what I have to do. If I started bringing them back and cutting them off, and people would be like, oh, that was a bad experience, right?
Right, exactly. But yeah, I know it is. It is easy to get carried away about everything. I'm speaking of myself, of course. So because you do get excited, like about that book. That book's been out for about 4 years. It's done very well. It's part of a series, The Little Girl in the Moon, and now there's The Little Boy in the Moon, and so it's morphed into the Moonling Experience, or Moonling Adventures. And my youngest daughter is the illustrator for all the Moonling Adventures. So she's working on the next one, and I'm super jazzed about it as well. So,
oh my gosh, you two are like, you just keep putting new content out there. How many hours a week would you say you spend writing?
Well, right now, I mean, that's really hard to pinpoint, but I have the list of things that. Things meaning stories that I know I need to do. But right now, what I'm so focused on is the next book that follows, Rise, A Girl's Struggle for More. Dr. JACALYN has done so well on Amazon. It's a young historical fiction book that the publisher asked me to please. She's had enough requests to learn what happened to Ruby next. And for those listening and watching, Ruby is the star of the book. And so I think I have about 3 chapters left. For some reason, I feel like there's 3 more chapters and then that book's finished. And it takes a lot of hard work to do historical fiction. I'm telling you.
Diann, I'm going to spotlight you and I'm going to go and look for the book. So you've got the floor.
Oh, okay. So everyone listening. So another book I have within the Little Girl in the Moon, what's kind of fun about the very first one is it's illustrated very differently. I used the phases of the moon for the illustrations. And I wanted to use the phases of the moon because it's a very simple book. It's a very easy read for beginning readers. And the story is all about how the Moonling girl wishes that people on the little kids on Earth, Earthlings, knew about her. And the mother's like, why? And so she goes, well, I would want them to know that I like to swing just like them. So as she shares about swinging or singing or reading, I thought, well, all kids can imagine that. So why don't I take it a little differently? So I made it where you would see the first phase of the moon and you just see a tiny portion of the little girl. And then the second phase of the moon, you would read a little bit about what she wished the Earthling children would know. And by the end, you see what a Moonling child looks like. And young kids, when I read it in the schools, are like, oh my gosh. But the point of the story is wait a minute, for a moment, you couldn't wait to be the moonling's best friend. But once you saw her, you're like, yeah. And I was like, no, that's the whole point. Just because someone looks different doesn't mean they can't be your very best friend. And that's what that story is all about. So I'm very, very proud of it. And again, being a former classroom teacher, it's a great way to bring in your first sight words and things like that. And then, of course, you get to do, on another book, you actually get to, she lives in Tycho Town, which Tycho Crater is the largest crater we can see from Earth. So the Little Girl on the Moon books and the Moonling Adventures, there's a lot of curriculum that goes with it, and I'm writing curriculum for the teachers now. So I'm excited about those books. And so that's the Moonling Adventures, Dr. Jacqueline.
Diann, I just want to let you know, I cannot get to the book.
That's
if you
okay.
could see the setup, I have a Bosu in front of where I keep the books. So I have to stand on the Bosu and right next to it is a sofa. So it's actually dangerous. I have to move everything, but I'll have it for a future show. So.
Oh, that's okay. Well, that was Rise, A Girl's Struggle for More we were speaking about. And that one, as you know, Dr. Jacqueline, it's based on my grandmother, Ruby, and she was something else. She was born in 1904. And with the way the world is right now, I really wanted to inspire people, especially young people, or anyone actually of any age, to go for their dream. It might take a while. So like, for example, for me, because of different things that happened in my life when I was younger, I had to quit college. And then I also had to earn my way for college. So working and going to college, it took me a long time, but I was determined to do it. And that's what it is that determination, that fire in the gut. And my grandmother was born in 1904 in Oklahoma, even before it was this state. And her story and journey as a young woman, when women were supposed to get married right away, her journey to go to college is a fabulous read. And funny things happen, things that she did that were like, oh my gosh, if her mother only knew at the beginning, I'm not sure that would happen. So it makes for a real fun read. And again, it's a story that inspires everyone. If someone from 1904 can make their dream a reality, then we can too. We just have to figure out how and believe. So there you go, Dr. Jacqueline. That's Rise, A Girl's Struggle for More.
It's a great book, and I feel honored to have written a testimonial on it as well. So I'm just speechless about how many things you have put out, and every one of them is at the highest quality. It's not like you're just sitting there writing just to get something out. I mean, your heart's in it, and you do a lot of research, and it really comes through. And the fact that you're illustrating, I have the other book here too. Hold on.
And you know, I had to dehypnotize myself because in sixth grade, my teacher told me, oh, you never take art again. You're worthless, you know. And she said it in front of the whole class, and I just was like shocked, and I never ever did it again. And I used to love to paint, and that's why I took the class. But I believed her because she was a teacher, right? And but that was okay. I took singing all the time. And I love being a songbird. And but all of a sudden I thought, you know what? She's wrong. I can. And I started taking art classes. So again, that's one of these stories that I love to tell people, because we do have to dehypnotize ourselves on things that someone might have taken the spark out of you and bring that spark back. Don't you think, Dr. Jacqueline?
Absolutely, Diann. I was told that I have a horrible voice, and now Madeline Chan and I have written a song together. What was I thinking back then? And it just goes to show you. But when someone knocks you down like that and you hear it enough, you start to believe it. And then instead of growing, we're shrinking. And because of what someone else said, what someone else's comment was about us. And I say, don't let other people's ideas, impressions, thoughts, opinions about you sink in. Just be like a wall, and it just boom. Just thank you for sharing. Goodbye.
I
Bounce off.
like that. And I love the title of your song. What was I thinking back then? I can't wait to hear it all. And just to do a plug, there's a book called I Am Not, which happens to be written by Rachel Boehm. But that story is amazing because even though she's my daughter, and in some ways it was hard for me as a parent to read because I thought I was being a really good parent, and she's in there telling me, all the time I am. But still, young kids, things are happening that they don't share with you. And you think you caught it as a parent, but the bullying can be so severe that, and if your kid's a good actor, and my daughter is a great actress, you can miss those things. And I Am Not can inspire parents and young people, both boys and girls, to do exactly what you just said, Dr. JACALYN, to just put up this wall and go, bing, I am not. And so that's a really good book for people to have.
And congratulations for Rachel. We need to get her back on the platform. Does she find any time for herself? I know she does because she's big on self-care.
Yes, she absolutely does. And like you, Dr. JACALYN, she's an avid a person who exercises. So she's up at 4 a.m. She's very regimental, better than I ever was, but she takes after her dad. But I know she and I were just speaking about that the other day. So we will, I'll tell you some things that are coming up in her future, and I'm sure you'll have her on the show.
Oh, good. I'm excited. Well, thank you, Diann. It's time to go already. Can you believe it?
No, I can't. But you need to, before you go, can you quickly tell them about your amazing new book coming out?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let me find it. So many graphics. Here it is. Okay. So what Diann's referring to is there is a new book series coming out. It's 7 books, and I'm co-writing it with Mariska Duprier. She is a transformation and leadership coach out of New Zealand. And the book title for the first book is, well, they're all going to be The Amazing Adventures of Lady Ella, the listening mentor. So Lady Ella is my niece. She's 9 months old, and she was here where I'm in New Jersey, and I actually was reading her Diann's books, which was so cute, and I have a video of it. And the book is dedicated to her. So the listening mentor refers to me. I teach people to listen at an elevated level. And then each of these characters on the book cover represents someone who is a certified elevated listener. And Diann, what I have to share with you is my sister is here. She is the cow. My sister paid for the courses, and she paid to be on the cover. She wants to be treated like anyone else. So I really do appreciate that. So each of these characters represents a different real person. And Diann is represented here by the gazelle. And what we're going to do in this book is to teach kiddos and their parents how to listen at an elevated level. So just for a little preview, you can see that the cow is on the side with the gentle farm, and you can see the other animals are here in the forest, and the owl, who's the main character of the story, is overlooking both, and I'm the ladybug, Ella, little necklace, and I'm flying around. So in addition to teaching how to listen, each book is one specific topic about listening. There's also other things for children and adults to learn. So for example, in this book, what we'll be learning is that the cow is afraid of the animals in the forest because she's not familiar with them. And the animals in the forest feel like they're just who they are. This is just the body, the casing that they're in, and they feel hurt that the cow is afraid of them. So together with the wise owl, they explore how they can understand the other's perspective. So that's also part of listening.
How absolutely creative. I just love it.
Well, wait, Diann, there's more. And
really?
There's the new TV radio show that Diann and only the people in the book cover are going to be featured on. So each week we will have a different character featured on the TV show. And the purpose of it will be, I actually have large size, full size renderings of each of the characters. So for the specific show, let's say when Diann's on, we'll have the full size rendering of the gazelle, and Diann will tell us the gazelle's name, why she chose the gazelle, and about the gazelle's listening skills and anything else that's pertinent to a gazelle that the audience would want to know. So it's a way to give people more insight as to what's going on in the book and who the characters are. And of course, at the end of the book, each character will have a page and a headshot for the actual person, and then information about how to contact them.
Amazing. Congratulations. And how incredibly creative that idea is. Really and truly.
Thank you. You know what happens? I go for a walk for about 2 hours. And when I'm first walking, I'm using my phone, which is so ridiculous. And then I put it away, and all of a sudden, ta-da, I have to get home so I could get the idea down.
Yeah, absolutely. That's when magic happens.
It is, for sure. So Diann, I'm going to spotlight you, and if you can share with people how they can reach out to you, and of course, how they can get your books.
Sure, I'll be happy to. So everyone, you can reach me at diannfloydboehm.com, DIANNFLOYD, B as in boy, OEHM.com. And you can find my books on Amazon. That's the easiest way, or Barnes & Noble.
Thank you, Diann. And on a future episode, I know we talked about this already, you can hopefully give people an idea of how they get their books into a bookstore. And
sure, I'll be happy
what
to.
that process looks like. So you have safe travels, and thank you for making us part of your trip.
You're quite welcome. So
instead
of where's Waldo, it's going to be where's Diann.
And please go sign up for the new show, Diann, so that we can get you on there.
Yeah,
just go to
absolutely will.
usaglobaltv.com/book your session.
Yes, thank you for reminding me. I appreciate it. And thanks everyone for listening. We appreciate it.
We sure do. Okay, we're going to say goodbye for now, and you can watch our next show, which is the film and music show starring Madeline Chant and our guest for today. Bye, everyone.
Bye.